Hello, and a warm welcome to everyone in Delight at Enigma 24 awareness session. I'm Aravinda Leelaratne, the second year engineering undergraduate at the University of Mora. I'll be the moderator for today's session. In the intricate tapestry of intellectual pursuits, coding and mathematics emerge as the warp and weft, intricately interwoven threads that shape the very fabric of our digital age. Just as a composer crafts a masterpiece with his musical notes, the coder and mathematician collaborate to compose the intricate symphony of algorithms and equations, conducting the harmonious dance of logic and creativity. These disciplines, hand in hand, unlock the door to innovation, providing the key to unraveling complex problems and unlocking the vast potential of our technological landscape. In this grand orchestration of intellect, coding and the mathematics stand as pillars, supporting the structure of progress and propelling us into a future where the language of logic and the beauty of numbers converge to create a harmonious symphony of advancement. So, let's get to know about the Mathematics Society of University of Mora and about its services. We, the Mathematics Society of University of Mora, are thrilled to introduce Enigma 24 to you. This time, we bring you an enhanced and unique experience in Python workshop series and a hackathon. Get ready for innovation, collaboration, and the excitement of Enigma 24. So, welcome to an evening filled with excitement and the thrill of hacking. Will your coding adventures be as legendary as those who inspired us? And now it's time to hear from one of the co-chairpersons of Enigma 24, Janisha Vikramasinghe, a CSE undergraduate at the University of Mora. Janisha, the virtual stage is yours. Over to you, Janisha.
A very good evening to each and every one of you. It's a Truly an honor for me as the co-chairperson to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guest speaker, Mr. Aravinda Ruwanpathirana, and to all my brothers and sisters gathered here today. This is an extraordinary initiative brought to you by Mora Maths, the Mathematics Society at the University of Mora. You have just witnessed the incredible work we have been up to. Empirates, an adventure in mathematics. Maths Day, a celebration of the beauty of numbers. M Talks, sparking conversations about the magic of math. Exmo Exhibition, showcasing our innovative spirit. M Flix, bringing math to life on screen. M Tutor, guiding and mentoring. And IMC Training, empowering minds for mathematical competitions. Whew, that's a lot, right? Mora Maths isn't just a society. It's a community dedicated to foster a vibrant mathematical culture among us university students. Our mission, and this is something I'm particularly excited about, includes providing a platform for free and independent thinking. Yep, you heard that right. We want to encourage you to let those mathematical ideas soar and explore your curiosity. As an organization, we are passionate about cultivating a culture of learning and innovation, making it more than just number and theorems. And that's where Enigma 24 comes in. This marks a significant milestone for Mora Maths. It's the first time we are organizing a hackathon. This groundbreaking initiative is aimed at empowering UOM undergraduates and to ensure you're all well prepared for this thrilling challenge. We've put together a workshop series that will act as your guide. So, what exactly are we doing at Enigma? Well, it's more than just coding. Enigma Workshop Series is tailored specifically for our junior members who may be taking their first step to Python programming. Look, I know Python might sound like a scary monster right now, but guess what? Enigma 24 is here to be your friendly coding dragon, the one that takes you by the hand and shows you just how awesome this whole programming thing can be. No experience? No problem. And that's precisely why Enigma 24 is crafted with you in mind. We'll start from the very beginning, building your code fortress brick by brick. We've got awesome mentors who are basically coding superheroes, ready to answer your questions and give you all the high fives you deserve. Our journey starts with a 6-week workshop series that is designed to build a solid foundation in Python programming and other math-related concepts. This is not about assuming prior knowledge. It's about creating a welcoming space for you to learn and grow. As you progress through the workshop series, a special session by industry experts awaits you. This is an opportunity to glimpse into how the skills you are developing in Python programming and mathematics are applied in real-world engineering scenarios. It's a chance to connect what you are learning to the exciting challenges awaiting you in your future careers. But that's not all. We have something special for you, a mini hackathon. This online challenge is designed to put your skills to the test. It's about embracing the joy of coding, trying new things, and most importantly, learning. And then the grand finale, Enigma 24 Hackathon. 2 rounds of intense competition await, challenging you to push your limits and showcase your mastery of mathematics and programming. This isn't just about winning, though. It's about igniting that spark of curiosity inside you, the one that loves making things work, solving problems, and building something awesome. It's about proving to yourself that you can code, you can conquer math, and you can change the world. I encourage each one of you to seize this opportunity with both hands. Enigma 24 is not about where you currently stand. It's about where you can go from here. It's a chance to explore the exciting world of programming, make new connections, and most importantly, have fun with your colleagues. So, are you ready to unlock the Enigma? Register today and get ready for a journey of discovery, growth, and of course, lots of coding. Before I conclude, I want to express my sincere gratitude to the incredible team working tirelessly behind the scenes. Their hard work and dedication are the driving force behind Enigma 24. Last but certainly not least, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. Your enthusiasm and participation are what make events like Enigma 24 come alive. As we embark on this journey together, I'm confident that it will be a memorable and enriching experience for all. So, with that, let me say a big thank you and let's kickstart the Enigma 24 workshop series. Over to you, Parindia.
Big thank to Janisha for igniting the energy in our session. Well, now I would like to keep a question in front of you guys. What is Enigma 24? Step into the realm of Enigma where math meets computer science and solutions are born from the crucible algorithmic finesse. The math-centric coding competition is not just about problem solving. It is a collaborative venture into real-world conundrums, demanding your best in coding proficiency and teamwork. Brace yourself for a journey where every line of the code etches a path to triumph, and where the alchemy of logic transforms challenges into victories. In this concise arena, let's crack the enigma together and unveil a world of mathematical mastery. And now, meanwhile, I would like to give you a brief idea about the workshop series and the hackathon of Enigma 24. On the 10th of January, we started the registration process, and the January 16th, that means today, now we are present here, we are having the awareness session virtually. We hope to close the registration on 19th January midnight. On the 20th January, we will be having our first workshop that would be an online one. On the 20th January, we will be conducting our second session that would be also an online one. On 3rd of February and the 10th of February, we will be having our third and fourth workshops respectively. On February 17th, a mini hackathon would be held that would also be online, and next two workshops will be held on 24th February and 2nd March. We will be held our industry session on 9th March. After all, the final hackathon will be held and the dates will be announced soon. Next, we will move on to the overview of our workshop series. In our first workshop, Introduction to Python and Hackaran, we lay the foundation of Python programming by exploring operators and expressions. It's here that we initiate our voyage into the language of machines, setting the stage for the coding odyssey that await. Moving forward, in our second workshop, unravels the symbiotic relationship between mathematics and coding. We delve into control structures, which are selection and loops, and also lists and some data types, which are strings and numbers. Our third workshop brings us the knowledge about functions. And we hope to discuss other several data types, which are tuples, sets, and dictionaries. As we progress, the fourth workshop, we get to know about the file handling and problem-solving skills. In the fifth workshop, we focus on solving challenging mathematical problems. Finally, in our sixth workshop, we hope to discuss further about this challenging mathematical problem solving. I hope it was clear, and now allow me to introduce Mr. Aravinda Kanchana Ruwanpathirana. He is a PhD student at the University of Utah, specializing in machine learning theory and theoretical computer science. He completed His undergraduate studies in computer science and engineering at the University of Mora, where he served as the secretary of the Mathematics Society in 2015. In 2016, he participated in the international competition Mathematics Undergraduate, earning a bronze medal. After graduating in 2018, he joined the University of Ottawa for his PhD, focusing on research problems in online learning and high-dimensional statistics. Currently in his final semester, and continues to contribute the evolving landscape of machine learning and theoretical computer science. Before I hand over the session, I would like to remind you guys that a link will be provided in the chat box now to post the questions in that throughout the session. Mr. Kanchana, the spotlight is on you. Over to you.
Hi. Thanks, Paniti. I'll start off with, let me first share my screen. Yes. Start off. So I hope everyone can hear me. Uh, please let me know if there are any issues with audio and okay. So I also hope hello everyone, and I hope you had a good day so far. And so today I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about uh, uh, I just wanted to introduce myself to you and talk to you a little bit about what kind of things that are available for you and why math is useful to you in the current landscape. So my name is Kanchana, and you guys can just call me Kanchana. You don't have to use any. I'm currently a PhD student at the University of Utah, and uh, I started my so. Uh, so I was part of I started my journey in uh this landscape of computer science and mathematics in 2014, just like you guys. So uh I know that I know that all of you here are undergraduates. Some of you might sorry about the video. It's like it seems like I hope it looks better now. Okay. Okay, moving on. So just like you guys, I was also an undergraduate at the University of Mora. I started uh, I started my undergraduate journey at the University of Mora in 2014. Uh, like in 2014, and so it's an exciting thing to join University of Mora. Like here, you guys are now part of this like cadre of people who are sort of like the cream of the crop of these individuals have done who have done challenging learning who have completed challenging learning goals, and now we are here to become future engineers. So uh, each and every one of you might have your own journey. Like you might have your own preferences and like things you want to do, but at the end of the day, you all are future engineers that are going to contribute to the society. So in that sense, it's uh, it's a great opportunity for me to it's a great opportunity for me as well to have this opportunity to talk to you guys and share a little bit about myself and what you like the landscape, the current landscape where you guys would be working on. So at the University of Mora, after this first semester and like this field selection and everything at the University of Mora, I was fortunate to join computer science and engineering department, uh, which was my goal at that time. I was I was personally really interested in this, the idea of programming, an idea of understanding the underlying logic of a system and try making it do what we want. So because of that, I wanted to join CAC, and there I got this opportunity to meet a lot of interesting people. Uh, that being said, I'm not saying CSC is the only place and like these are the only things because as you would probably know, there are like once you get here to the university, there are a lot of opportunities for you, and there are a lot of different paths depending on your preferences. Like uh, University of Moratuwa has a very strong faculty that in all of these areas such as electronics, chemical engineering, material engineering, civil engineering, like you, I mean, just you pick something, and there is a good faculty uh, that does those things, and there are opportunities for you. So in my case, like I like CS, so I choose CS. So while I was there, I was fortunate enough to make uh, an interesting group of friends. So we were sort of a set of like-minded people that were interested in this idea of understanding things, understanding the underlying things, understanding the logic, understanding the mathematics, understanding the basic ideas behind the things that we were doing. So at the time, so that I guess leads to my involvement with Math Society. When I so when I was I joined Math I joined Math Society when I was in my second year. Uh, while I said joined at that time, there was no active Math Society. Math Society hasn't been active for like 4 years by that time, I guess. So all we wanted to do at that time was to start sort of a discussion platform for like-minded people who are interested in math. And one of our lecturers at the math department suggested that we revitalize the math society, which which we ended up doing. And I was the first secretary after the revitalization. And to be honest, during our time, math society was just something that was like uh, it was still more of like a small group of people that were just doing these discussions and like talks and stuff, like something similar to himself. But right now, looking at these guys, looking at where these guys are, I was just enjoying the presentation the Met Society was doing here, like for the Enigma, the initial slides, where you guys were talking about these events such as like Math Day, Math Day, like the current version of M Talks and everything. So to be completely honest, I feel proud about the Math Society right now, where these guys are like they have uh, what we started as this like small group. These guys have taken it so far, and right now, to be completely honest, I feel like they have become a sort of a contribute, like a, a group that really contributes to the university as well as like outside of the university. I know for a fact that Math Society even has right now has like some plans to extend their contributions to outside of the university society. I see a raised hand. Like, is there any question? Hi, Sinead. I see your raised hand. Do you have any question? Okay. I assume there's no question. So, okay. So moving on, like, so Math Society right now in University of Mora seems like they're in this they're in this stage where like they are actually doing a really great thing, and I'm glad that you guys are also starting to you guys are also joining in as part of this great movement where and well, I'll come to that later on. So moving on, during my undergraduate studies, because of my involvement with Math Society, I was also fortunate enough to participate in the international maths competition, uh, which was held in Bulgaria at the time in 2016, where I I was fortunate enough to get a bronze medal. This was sort of an eye-opening experience because at the time for the IMC, we were the only people that were coming from an engineering background. Everyone else was mathematicians. And this helped us gain a lot of insight about the difference of mathematics learning in these two domains, and uh, and also to learn about why learning mathematics is important. So, I mean, outside of this, I was also involved in like multiple different multiple different things. But so eventually, like at that, even during my undergrads, my goal was to go for higher studies, and what I wanted to do was something that was more theoretical, something that was more related to math. Fortunately, at the end of at the end of at the end of my undergraduate studies, I was fortunate enough to uh, get a PhD. I was fortunate enough to get a PhD opportunity at the University of Utah, and well, I joined the University of Utah in 2018. I'm still there. I'm graduating. I'm planning to graduate end of this semester. So that's my journey so far. So before moving on to other stuff, I just wanted to sort of introduce what I actually do as because I've been saying I went through this journey because I like math, and I've been saying I'm a theoretician and everything, but I just wanted to give you a brief overview of what I do and like uh, what I do and why math is useful in this scenario. So, the, speaking about my work and math, I mainly so my work is generally in this area of machine learning theory. While I say machine learning theory, I'm technically a CS theoretician, and my work is in algorithm development. So, my work is in this specific part of algorithm development and learning. So, I have been involved in research in these areas of streaming algorithms, online algorithms, high dimensional statistics. So, uh, to be completely honest, starting when I first went for the PhD, uh, most of like so I originally, in my case, I originally went for a PhD that was heavy in math, but like even people, even my friends who joined the PhD program, that was that were doing more application stuff. One thing we have learned during our PhD journey is that no matter what you do, no matter where you are, this understanding of mathematics, like this involvement of mathematics, as well as the other part, which is knowing how to program, knowing how to analyze problems, knowing how to convert it into a program, like knowing how to convert it into a program or like a ML model or something like that, knowing how to analyze data, knowing how to gain insights does matter no matter what you do. This doesn't necessarily apply only to PhD journeys. Like let's say you complete your degree and join some firm somewhere or something like that. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be a CS thing. Like, let's say you join some uh, for a material firm or something like that. You need or a chemical firm. You need to have this analytic. You need to still have these analytical skills, and whatever you develop through so it doesn't have to be analytical skills that you develop through that specific field. It could be any analytical skills that you develop through anything, but all of these skills do matter. So at the end of the day, once you graduate, what you need to take is what you can take away is the skills that you develop, and they are understanding math and having a good background in mathematics and having a good background in analytics does help regardless of the field that you choose. So again, coming back to math, yeah, uh, finishing off this story about myself. Uh, let's switch to you and mathematics, I guess. So, uh, like you and mathematics, like I said, you right now, I know all of you guys are undergraduates at the University of Mora, and like most of you are new undergrads. But end of the day, the thing is, you guys are now in this very specific STEM field, and you guys are working on this like mostly on TENM, which is like technology, engineering, and mathematics parts. Like there is a lot of science involved as well. So like I mean, you can't separate them anyway. So you guys are in this field where you guys are in this interrelated field where like everything is interrelated, and you do need a lot of different skills. One of which is mathematics, and like having to being able to understand and uh, being able to see problems, being able to analyze problems, being able to understand how you arrive at a solution. So this is a skill that you would I mean, technically, this is a skill that you would develop throughout your undergraduate journey. This is a skill that you would even after that. This is a skill that you would keep developing throughout your career. Be it as maybe like it could be graduate career, like academic career, or it could be an industry career. Like regardless of that, this is a skill that you have to develop and you would be developing. So now, regardless of what you do and regardless of what you do, because you are engineers, mathematics is important to you. So now the thing is, like, even if you're not, like, let's take the engineer part out of the equation. So right now, the thing is, the world we are living in is right now a world of data. So, I mean, uh, uh, I know for a fact, like, for, I mean, I assume for a fact that, like, I assume that at- if not 100%, at least 90% of you are using, like, right now using a smartphone or something like that. You guys are connected to the internet. You guys are connected to a, a network of vast array of data that's like, right now, even even at this second, something is collecting some data. Something is collecting some data even about you, and uh, this data is used in some kind of a decision making process. So, like, to be completely honest, the world has been about data for almost like almost for like more than a decade, I guess. But right now, it's more and more becoming a data-driven world, because right now everything has become this internet of internet of things, like where everything is connected and every data is shared. So in this world of data, the thing you need to ask yourself is, am I going to be uh, just a consumer, a product in this world of data, where like whoever uses this data would like use my information and make decisions, or am I going to be part of the decision making process? So like the thing you should aspire to be is part of the pipeline in the at least part of the pipeline in the decision making process, to understand how this data is handled, like how this world of data is handled, and try to not just be a consumer or just a product in this world of data, but rather someone, a cog in the pipe. I mean, you might not be a decision maker, but at least be a cog in the pipeline where you can guide the decision process, like where you can actually make some uh, impact on the decision process itself. So uh, this is where you should be, and to get there, get to this, you do like I mean, it's not a straightforward thing to do. You do need, like, because you're in a world of data, you do need ability to understand this data, analyze this data, and try to handle these things. So, like, when it comes to these things, there are few tools that you would need if you're planning to survive in this world of data. Like, if you're planning to take this into next level and try to be a contributor instead of a consumer. So, like, yeah, there are a lot of tools that you need. And few of the key tools are basically you do need math and statistics. And if you see the if you see this like the image I have here, math and statistics, like even machine learning, this is like the whole thing that is happening. Like right now, the trend in everything is to like apply machine learning or deep learning for pretty much anything. But like if you think about it, in some core sense, machine learning is just applied math and statistics, and it's part of math and statistics until unless you know and understand this like tool of math and statistics, like different tools of math and statistics, and how to like understand how to use them, you would be finding it hard to like do use these things in a real situation. And the next key thing you need to develop is this skill of programming, and like the database thing, yeah, skill of programming. And to be honest, it's not database per se, it's like data handling. So these two things, math and statistics and programming, go hand in hand. And these two regard like so these tools are something you do need to develop uh, if you want to survive in a world of data. So again, it might seem like I'm talking about like I'm sort of promoting computer science here, but like to be completely honest, these two things, math and statistics and programming, right now in this current climate, it applies to any domain regardless of what domain you go into. So to be completely honest, one of the best data scientists I know, uh, one of the best programmers and like one of the very best mathematicians and statistics. he's just a person who works in physics and has nothing to do with like coding and everything. But even in there, if you want to understand something, if you want to simulate something, you do need all of these skills, regardless of the domain. You do need this skill, and the the other two things, like even so, while I say math and programming are the key skills, there are other skills that you have to develop. This you will develop throughout your undergraduate career. Like you would have a lot of opportunities. One thing is like figuring out like learning the domain knowledge and developing soft skills. This will be domain specific to what you want to do. So, like that you will develop throughout your undergraduate career as well as like when you join your industry and all that. And the other key thing is communication. But for today, we'll mainly focus about math and statistics and programming. So, so like now, now that we know you need math, statistics, and programming, how would you develop these things? Like, I mean, we know that we need these things. Like regardless of what we do, we need these things, and there is no way to get around it. Like there is no way to completely ignore math, statistics, completely ignore programming, and go into this traditional like. Uh, I mean, right now it's not a world where you can just survive with some kind of a traditional setting where like you just have uh, non-technological based knowledge. So you need technology, and you right now, like uh, right now, I'm happy to see you guys have taken this initiative. Like by joining Enigma, you guys have taken this initiative to learn these things and uh, develop these skills, which will be useful. Like you guys, most of maybe like if you're new graduates, new undergraduates, you might be graduating in like 4 years, I guess. Like even for the others, uh, you might be either you might be graduating soon or something, but still, by the time you graduate, you do need to have this set of base skills on top of which you can develop anything else. Like if you have a good base of math and good base of programming, on top of that, to be completely honest, you can develop most of the other skills. I mean, like you still need domain knowledge, domain specific skills for your specific area that you would develop through your undergraduate degree. But outside of that, regardless of the area, do I do personally think you do need these math, statistics, and programming basis. So the thing is, the question you should ask is, how would you develop? Like, how would you develop these things? How would you take it to the next level? Like, I mean, how do you develop these things? How would you test this? How would you take it to the next level? So I mean, what can you do? So here I'm saying computer education, but it doesn't have to be like computer education per se. All I'm saying is like uh, right now in this technological domain, like you have a lot of different technologies, a lot of different education platforms, a lot of different opportunities that you can exploit to expand your knowledge, to learn these things, to get more familiar with these things. So I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen like, I mean, I'm pretty sure all of you have uh, like seen like you have watched YouTube videos and you have like uh, gone through like you guys have gone you guys have done these like like I mean probably even a lot of educational videos. So one place you can start is this one place if you want to start is this like the thing you need to note is that there are a lot of free resources available right now for you guys to learn math, programming, not just those two, like any skill that you want to develop, there are a lot of free resources. There's like YouTube has tons of videos on anything, and there are these platforms like Coursera, EDX, and everything that gives you a lot of different resources to improve your learning, regardless of what you want to learn. So the key thing to do is apply yourself. And make sure when you see an opportunity, you use that opportunity. And like so the one other thing you should also do is, again, speaking of applying yourself, uh, in the current landscape, there are a lot of like, so one thing you should note is like just having knowledge itself might not be necessarily enough. You do need one other factor that would be helpful is to gain experience. For this, for this as well, there are a lot of opportunities that you guys have. Uh, there are these like one key opportunity throughout your undergraduate career might be these things such as hackathons, where you do have uh, time practical experience in designing something, problem solving. There are like uh, programming competitions and stuff like that, and there are also, I mean, outside of that, there are these other platforms. Like, for instance, if you just take, let's say you want to develop your mathematical thinking, you want to develop your mathematical knowledge. Like one of the best platforms might be uh, engaging with math society people, like things such as M Talks, where you would have someone that is working in some interesting mathematical problem, talking about it to you, and you would actually see what is happening in this domain, and you would actually be able to you would have a chance to ask questions and learn more. And also, not just that, you would have a chance to network with other people. And also, like, regardless of what you do, this is the other thing, you should always try to network with people that are in these domains that you are interested in. So let's say, like, uh, so if you want to become a computer scientist, or if you want to become a mathematician or something like that, engage with those people, learn what they're doing. And like, I mean, you don't have to necessarily understand what they're doing, just learn what they're doing and see if that is what you want to do. And so that way you can guide your undergraduate journey and figure out like what exactly is that you want to do. So right now for you guys, one thing you should see is that like you guys do have a lot of opportunities that you can exploit. Like the university itself offers a lot of different opportunities. There is a good faculty, and outside of this faculty and everything, there are people like this, or the organizing committee of Enigma, like the Mathematics Society, that does something for you. What you need to do is basically grab that opportunity. So yeah, this basically takes us back to Enigma. I call it a golden opportunity because uh, this is it's a rare opportunity to see something like this coming to you when you start your journey, your undergraduate journey. So when we were in the university, when we started the undergraduate journey, like at the start, there weren't a lot of things that were this helpful to us, like that were actually giving us an opportunity to learn as well as engage. It's not necessarily like you say, like you guys have seen through the schedule. It's not just a learning opportunity where the Enigma is not necessarily like doing just a bunch of workshops and then forgetting about it, but they are also giving you an opportunity to like use what you have learned, these mini hackathons and hackathons, which give you an opportunity to use what you have learned and also to see how you would use those things. So, like this is a golden opportunity to both gain knowledge as well as experience. And also the other thing is like, yeah, like these guys say, you guys would be throughout these workshops and everything, you guys would be learning Python. You guys would be learning critical analysis, like uh, mathematical problem solving and everything. And these skills are skills you can carry throughout your undergraduate studies, especially like so especially you guys are starting with Python, and which, to be completely honest, you guys would that's something you guys have to learn to some degree regardless of the area you work on, because for one thing it's part of the undergraduate curriculum, and the other thing is, regardless of the degree you're working on, if you are trying to do something with like data or something like that, like if you try to like learn something from the data, like gain some insights, Python is a tool that is easy to use as well as like rather intuitive for these things. So what you have here through Enigma is an opportunity where you can learn learn not just Python, like not just basic Python, like that's well, I mean, learning basic Python you will do outside, but the thing you should take out of this is to one thing is, I mean, obviously learn everything, learn programming, the fundamental ideas and Python, learn how these like I mean, you guys would be interacting with a lot of good people that are actually well versed in these problem solving and everything. So learn what they teach you about problem solving itself. Learn how to approach this thing, as well as uh, take it as a golden opportunity to network, like make friends. Uh, Also, make friends and like these guys would be your seniors, so get to know them, and they would be a great resource for you. So all in all, I feel like you guys have you here you. I feel like here you guys have like a very good opportunity to learn and improve yourself. I hope each and every one of you take this opportunity and exploit it to the fullest content. Like, uh, so just think of it as like using this opportunity to gain everything you can gain. Like, so in a sense, you should have this selfish goal of learning as much as you can, gaining as much as you can. So make this an opportunity for that. And with that, I'll finish my presentation and I'll open the floor for like if you have questions or anything. If you have anything you want to know.
So thank you very much, Mr. Kanchana. Uh, so guys, go through the link and ask your questions. So you can put anything that you like to hear from us.
Stop sharing. Feel free to like if you have questions for me, feel free to ask like anything. I'm fine with anything together. Like if you have. So data science itself, uh, thanks to you for the question. So data science itself is a vast field, and uh, by data scientists, there are like when we say data scientists, there are uh, people do a lot of different things in this area. Like so, so usually the key thing is to basically like the key job of a data scientist is to use the data and gain insights from it. Like there is this key difference: data scientists and data analysts. Data data scientists would actually give you a way like work through this pipeline of like getting the like after getting the data, gaining insights, and how you would use these data to solve a real problem. Like if you want to solve uh, let's say some problem in the industry, like some if you want to learn For instance, let's say you want to find some genome information on that and everything. So some genome information from some data and some. So data scientists are key people that work in this area. And uh, to be a data scientist, you do need to understand basic statistics, basic statistics, as well as you need to have a good understanding of machine learning itself. Which is, to be completely honest, I still call it I would still call it statistics and mathematics. So you do need to understand these things such as regression analysis, clustering, and stuff. So also you do need to have some knowledge of programming. And one of the key things I should note is that when it comes to data science, Python the Python is right now one of the go-to languages. So if you learn Python, uh, the basics of Python, then I mean, being a data scientist, you do know need a little bit more than that. But if you learn the basics of Python, and if you develop these skills of if you learn statistics and mathematics, you would be in a good, you would be in a path to get to this being a data scientist. And to be completely honest, this is right now it's even outside of in the industry as well, it's a highly paid position that you can aim for. I hope that helps. Let me check the other questions. Okay, so there were I saw there were a couple of questions on both pursuing uh, CS after pursuing mathematics after the graduation. So the thing is, one area I would recommend is, regardless of what you do, like uh, in all of these areas, let's say, for instance, just take CS for now. Like in my case, I wanted to do something more mathematical. After graduation, what I did was to go into the CS theory, graduate studies in CS theory, which is still more which is highly mathematical. Most of the things we do involves high dimensional linear algebra, high dimensional statistics, probabilistic methods, and stuff like that. So it's still math. So if you want to pursue math, there are a lot of opportunities. Like CS does give you a lot of opportunities, and uh, it doesn't necessarily have to be CS itself. Even if you go to any other field, um, I don't know much about these fields because I haven't. But still, there are a lot of opportunities that you can have where you can develop mathematical skills. Let If you don't want to go to graduate studies, one thing you could do is, even in these industry areas, there are more research oriented or more analytical positions where you would need to have mathematical knowledge. You would need to use mathematics. So you could always prepare for such positions. And so on that part, you could that for that you would need guidance from your whatever department you joined and so. So uh, those are two things. Outside of that, if you really outside of that, after getting an engineering degree, if you really want to pursue like pure or applied math itself, there are opportunities as well. You can apply for, you can apply for graduate studies in mathematics. I know for a fact, I have a friend who did this, who graduated with us uh, in CS and applied for mathematics, and he just completed his PhD last month. So there are opportunities like that. So regardless of what you do, there are opportunities. It basically boils down to what you actually want to do. Okay. And coming to this question on IMC. So when we were there, like I the selection was basically what they basically did was to have a selection exam, and out of that, I think 4 people were selected. I'm not entirely sure what they do right now. it might still be the same. It depends on who handles it and like which. So at that time, uh, it was basically handled by the University of Mora. I'm not right now. I'm not entirely sure who handles it. So that maybe uh, maybe the Math Society might have a better idea about that. So one thing is, if you want to if you want to take part in such things, like keep in touch with Math Society, and like if there is something happening like that in the in the university, they should know about it, and like you would be able to get all of those information through them. And usually, what they used to do during our time was to do a selection exam and then select people and they send them. So, oh yeah, again about IMC tickets and accommodations. They were basically uh, for tickets and accommodation when we were going there. For tickets and accommodation, uh, the university paid. I mean, accommodations were given by the this university in Bulgaria, but like for the tickets and everything, the university paid. Uh, Again, i- the situation might be different because these things depend on the budget the university has and they're like their own like their priorities as well at that time. So one thing I think uh, few of our uh, junior batches have done, it's also uh, through the faculty and everyone, right, like getting some sponsorships and stuff like so the thing is, at this point, if you're selected, there would always be some other avenue rather than like spending your personal money. There would always be like uh, at the university, with the help of these I mean with the help of everyone involved, there is always some other avenue rather than just spending your money. And so that there are always opportunities. So if you really want to do these kind of things, IMC or like get involved with mathematics and everything, don't worry about those factors. Get involved, like get involved with these people, like get involved with mathematics society, get involved with like anyone and everyone who would give you an opportunity. And oh, okay. Speaking of the selection wasn't necessarily like from CS or anything. Like it was just a general selection exam from like the entire university. Like, so basically what they did was they advertised it and you could register, and I think they were like uh, close to 50 people that like maybe somewhere around 30 to 50 people that registered, and then they were given an exam, and out of that 4 people were selected, like two from oh yeah uh, in uh, in our year, 3 were from CS and 1 from uh, ENTC. And the next year, I think there were like 2 from CES, 1 from my ENTC. Oh, I think like I think there's a question for uh, Enigma organizers. There's a question that's asking in case I'm unable to participate some workshops, can I work like is there a recording or something like that? Maybe one of the organizers can.
Yes, we'll be providing the recordings of the sessions.
Nice, thanks. So, okay, going to the next question of AI. I mean, even in AI, you do still need like you do still need understanding of these things, such as uh, you do you do need understanding of mathematics. Like there are a few things like there are things like I mean, you still need these things such as linear algebra, statistics, and such. You also need a little bit of calculus because, to be completely honest, all of these AI methods, whatever you do, there are few underlying things such as this gradient method, like gradient descent or backpropagation or such, like gradient based, basically gradient based methods, or like I mean, there are gradient free learning, but yeah, that's something different. But you don't need to understand uh, few things such as basic linear algebra because you would be working on large data. Like so, to be completely honest, you would be working on either matrices or tensors or something like that. Tensor algebra might be helpful, but that is something you can learn later when you're working on those stuff. But you do need basic linear algebra uh, and basic understanding of statistics because all of these are statistical methods. And also, also you would need some understanding of calculus because most of these AI methods, AI models underlying architecture is somehow the gradient driven architecture. Like they are sort of gradient driven architecture. So you do need to understand a bit of calculus. So in the field of AI, though, there are a lot of like depending on what you do, there are a lot of other stuff you would need to understand. But that you can come uh, like that you can learn when you're specializing in that area. Like if you want to uh, learn like so there are these things such as fuzzy logic and everything like separate logic systems and thing. You could learn those things like convolution, for instance. So you can learn those things when you come to those because like those you might actually learn most of those things during your undergraduate studies. And like as long as you have basically understanding of linear algebra, calculus, statistics, and probability, you can learn all of the other stuff very fast. Yeah. So, oh, for my PhD, I'm not entirely sure, but like, so I'm not entirely sure whether they checked my IMC, like the IMC participation or anything, but uh, I know for a fact, like, my advisor did see it, and like, so he was not like, I mean, so like, outside of IMC, I was also, I, like in 2012, I also took part in International Mathematics Olympiad. So my current advisor, uh, he he yeah, in 2002 he took part in IMO, so that sort of helped in joining his group because he like the IMO thing, the IMO thing and IMC did help, but the university itself, I'm not entirely sure because that I didn't really check with them because I mean they don't really say anything, but uh, I do think it helped because I didn't like when I joined the University of Utah right after my I mean right after my undergraduate. I didn't even have a degree certificate or anything when I applied. When I joined the University of PhD, like my final grades weren't even final uh, when I applied for it. So basically, I think these things, IMC and stuff, help because I didn't have a very strong research profile, but I did have like research internships and stuff. But I do think these things helped, especially with my advisor. So that is like a okay, Ravi, that's a good question. And, like to be completely honest, uh, so what made me different was, I guess, like for one thing, my interests were different. Like what I wanted to do at that point. So in some sense, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to do CS theory, and I wanted to do this like this. I wanted to basically get involved in something more analytical and something more like sort of something that involved understanding the basics. So I think that helped. Like so, at the end of the day, when you're at this point, when you apply for these graduate studies, there is this thing called statement of purpose that you want to write, where you highlight why you are applying and what makes you a good candidate. And that's where you need to highlight uh, what you like and what you want to do. So I think when I was joining, the sort of the fad was basically everyone was just applying for applied email kind of stuff. So I was one of these few people who were sort of who it might have been that, and uh, like who had this specific interest on theory and every theory, like CS theory and understanding the basics like algorithmic development, and that would have helped. The other thing that helps is that they do look at multiple things. One is your academic profile. If your academic profile is good, you do have a good chance. Even if it is not good, you do have a good chance if you have a good research profile or an engagement. In my case, uh, I mean, yeah, my academic profile was very good, and I didn't have any publications, but I was like, so you guys have this thing called internships uh, like during I think it's like sixth semester or something. I don't remember exactly the semester, but during that time, I was involved in a uh, research internship in Singapore. So those things did help. Also, one other thing that helps is uh, your the recommendation letters you get like, from your faculty here in Mora. So it's not necessarily like one thing that sets you apart. It's this amalgamation of all of these things that sets you apart and gets you selected. Yeah. If you're planning to apply for those things, like I mean, when you reach that point, you would have a better idea. But if you're planning to apply for those things, like don't go for these like the don't just go for these like the common things everyone are doing. Like oh, just go for the fad or something like that. Just try to think of what you want to really do and like what you're interested in, and try to showcase that you are like a unique person in that sense. So okay. So Sakindu has this question like, as students are learning programming, how cautious do we have to be when using AI tools? This using them affects creativity. Well, I mean, not really. Like you can use AI tools, but at the same time, before like initially when you're starting, I would recommend learning rather than using AI tools, trying to do it yourself because this initial learning is the important thing. When you're past that point, when you are sort of more used to programming and everything, using AI tools is fine. Like, I mean, they don't really curb the creativity because, to be completely honest, even with AI tools, you do like, I mean, even with the AI tools, you do need uh, to spend time like changing it to the way you want. AI tools are just helpful if you like when you are at a point when you want to like when you have to do a lot of things, AI tools are helpful. But uh, when you're starting off, I wouldn't recommend using AI tools because like initially it's important to learn what you like learn and understand how these things work. And once you understand it, even if you use a AI tool, the thing you would do actually is to not necessarily just take it for granted and just use it. Like you would just use it as a small, you would just use it as any other tool that you would use to save time. But you would be thinking about like what is actually happening and what is like so let's say AI tool basically dumps some code. You would like when you're at that level you do analyze this code because like it does affect like at that point you would be at a level where it affects what you're like whatever you use affects what you're doing. It's not necessarily just learning and it's using kind of thing. So at that point it's fine to use, but initially I wouldn't recommend using AI tools. So Ravindu, on the question of whether I'm planning to return to Sri Lanka, I'm thinking of eventually returning to Sri Lanka, but like before that I'll probably do a postdoc or work on research for a few years. I'm not sure because I'm not sure where. It might be Singapore, something like that. I've been talking to some people in Singapore about postdoc. I'm not entirely sure at this point, but I do want to eventually return to Sri Lanka. Any other questions? I think it seems like that might be all the questions.
Thank you, sir. I want to express our deepest gratitude to our esteemed guest speaker. Your insights and expertise have illuminated our understanding and inspired us all. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and passion, enriching our experience. We are truly honored to have had you with us today. So, thank you very much, Mr. Kanchana. It was a great having you here as a speaker for today. Please accept our token of appreciation and we value your input. Please take a moment to fill our feedback form. Your thoughts matter to us. The feedback form link is provided in the chat box. So, now if I may kindly ask all the participants to join us in capturing a memorable moment together. Let's take a group snapshot. Please turn on your cameras and flash those cool smiles. Feel free to utilize the virtual background available in the chat box. The virtual background is already given. Please be kind enough to download and add them. I just give a couple of minutes to turn on your cameras. So, okay guys, feel free to switch on your cameras. It's going to be a fun, memorable moment. And I'll take count. Okay, guys, feel free to switch on your cameras. Um, okay, count. I'll take the count. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you all. We hope you got the maximum out of it and cleared all your doubts. Before I leave, I would like to remind you, we will be having our first workshop in 20th January. So, if anyone is not registered yet, don't be late. Hurry up and fill the registration form before 19th midnight. With that, we have almost reached the end of this session. And again, thank you all the participants for joining us today and who have stayed with us until the end. You have made this session a success. We are looking forward to seeing you all in the first workshop. Until then, have a great time.